On today's episode of Warehouse Safety Tips, we're going to be talking about winter safety tips for slips, trips, and falls. So stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. If you're a seasoned vodcast viewer, this vodcast is going to be different from most that you watch. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money, so each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the vodcast. We are less than a week away from winter, and even though the white stuff may not be flying where you're at, it's coming. And when it comes at your facility, there is going to be a lot of wetness in the form of snow, ice, and water being tracked into your facility. So make sure that you are absolutely careful because slips, trips, and falls can absolutely ruin you. So you want to make sure that you take as many steps as you can to prevent and to just watch out for that situation, especially since almost all those situations I just mentioned can all be avoided. So here are 4 tips. Definitely not the end-all be-all tips. Make sure that you follow the tips of your specific facility. But to get started, we want to talk about maintenance and cleaning. This is a very simple one. It is making sure that if you do track stuff in, there is somebody that is either dedicated or that you have an area where you can mop up, that you can stamp your feet, that you can possibly brush off your feet in the form of like a brush that you drag your feet over, or just, the simple stamping of your feet before you enter an area. But there is going to be ice and snow and water on your feet no matter what. So make sure that there is always somebody that is there to either mop it up, alert somebody that needs to mop it up, and if nothing else, that you have a sign that there is a slippery when wet or wet surface sign alerting people that it's there. So it's a very simple thing, like I said, just maintenance and cleaning. So the next thing is going to be footwear and signage. So one of the very first things that you want to think about when you're at a factory or a facility or a warehouse that has got either the potential for wet floors, or you have oily or fluid surfaces that are going to provide for slippery surfaces, that your shoes are non-slip and that they have a good grip to them. It also is going to be something that you want to have gripping floor tape and signs that you have got on stairways, non-slip implementations in the form of like sometimes you'll see like they're really a hard metal that will allow you a good grip, or some sort of a non-slip grip surface that's been put on there, and that you are being as safe as possible in the form of your footwear and the areas that you can control. If you can't, again, signage. The third thing is going to be training and reporting, making sure that all the things that we've mentioned and anything that we haven't, that you train your employees on exactly what to do for the not only avoidance of slips, trips, and falls, but that they know what to do in case it happens, who to notify, that you don't move people or that you do move people, or whatever the case may be, that people are aware of exactly what to do and know who to report to. And then the last thing is going to be protocols and equipment, making sure that things are in place to avoid these situations from happening, whether it be mats, whether it be the signs that we talked about, the non-slippage areas, the type of footwear that you wear. But also something else is there are spill kits that you can have. So you can have barriers around areas that stay wet in the form of fluids or oils to where you can contain them in a certain area. There are also ways to make sure that there are fans blowing on areas that are constantly wet, so you can keep them as dry as possible. Just making sure through all 4 of these points, and again, anything else at your facility or any regulations such as OSHA say that need to be in place, that you're following them. If you do this, you're going to avoid slips, trips, and falls as best possible. One last thing that we didn't mention is just making sure that not only wetness in the form of ice and snow and water isn't in pathways, but that there's nothing in pathways in the form of debris or garbage or cords, bunched up mats, or just anything that can provide a trip. And if you do that, your people are going to come home and leave as safe as they come. And that's exactly what we want. So thank you for being part of yet another Warehouse Safety Tips. Until we talk to you next time, have a great day, stay safe, and here is a word from one of our sponsors.
It's scientifically unexplainable. It's virtually indestructible. And it's taking over the entire planet. But in a really good way. It's Mighty Line Floor Tape, the most durable floor tape in the world. 7 times thicker than average floor tape. Beveled to endure pounding warehouse traffic. And backed with a super strong peel and stick adhesive, so you'll never have to worry about painting shop floors again. Mighty Line Floor Tape, the only durable stripe.